You remember when I talked about being a kid and doing really dumb stuff? Well, I got another story for you. Now, I don't know if it was just me being in a bad crowd or just pure bad luck. I was a kid, I didn't want to hurt anyone, and I never stole anything. So I don't feel like this story is a bad influence kind of thing, more of a lesson that you shouldn't play with certain stuff. Now, I'm around 13 at this point in my life, still a troublemaker and still making my parents worry about me every step of the way. One day, I decided to hang out with some friends of mine after school. I asked my parents and they said it's okay, as long as I'm at a house and not on the streets. Well, I stayed around one friend's house until it got dark and we played games and, did the usual kid stuff. The sun's going down, so I gotta call my parents to make sure it's okay that I'm out. You should probably know that I biked my way to my friend's house. Anyway, my friend and I get a call to go see our other buddies. They're having a bonfire. I've never been to a bonfire before, so I'm super excited to go. I already called my parents and asked if it was okay to be out, and they said yes. So why not? So we bike our ways to our other friend's house, and there are like 6 of us around this fire. Bad luck strikes me again, and, we're running around and his dog decides to ram itself into my knee. Messes it up pretty bad. I was hurt. I couldn't move that well. I didn't feel like going home, so I kind of just sucked it up and continued talking to my friends. The one I came with says that it's getting late and that he has to go home, because his parents would probably be mad. I decide I can do whatever I want, because I'm me. Obviously, I can do whatever I want because I got permission a couple hours ago. But it's getting boring with just 3 or 4 of us, and we feel like having more fun. So the host says we should go to our buddy's house and continue the bonfire there as well. Now, I'm pretty far away from the original house I was supposed to be at, the one that I told my parents I was staying at. Now, I'm pretty far away from the original house I was supposed to be at, but I don't see the harm in going places as long as I'm in the group. Nothing could hurt me. I mean, we're a group of kids. What could obviously go wrong? So, what we used to start this bonfire was some Christmas tree, some dead Christmas tree. So we pack it up, and we go biking to our friend's house. We have all our backpacks on, and we have a ton of dead Christmas tree on each of our backpacks. And we call our friend to ask him if it's okay if we come over. He says it's okay. So we end up getting there, I don't know, probably in about 10-15 minutes of biking. And there's a guard at the gate. There's like a guarded gate for the community, and we're kind of upset. Because we don't want to deal with a guard. Why do we have to deal with a guard? We're just here to go see a friend of ours, right? So we sneak around, and I'm thinking it's like a video game, We're kind of just... We're sneaking around. We're kids. Might as well, we've committed to this. We have to do it, right? We find the house. We knock on the door. He answers, and we hang out in his garage. We're hanging out there for a couple of minutes before his parents get pretty mad that we're, making a lot of noise. So we go outside. We forgot about the tree. We forgot about the whole bonfire thing, So we remind ourselves that there's this big open lot outside of his house. So we pull out the tree and start a fire. Not a huge one. We're just picking out little pieces of branches off the tree and lighting it on fire and just waving it around and seeing the flames go everywhere. It was just a weird kind of thing that we did as kids. I don't know. We're not near any houses whatsoever, by the way. We're not stupid. We're not, lighting fires by houses. We're not going to throw fire into someone's yard or anything like that. We're having a lot of fun. Now, here's where the dumb ideas start to happen. We have a friend of ours that has a Axe spray bottle. Those spray-on cologne things? Yeah, we had one of those. And we decided to make a flamethrower out of this thing. Now, I don't know if you've ever used an Axe bottle as a flamethrower, but if you have, that's pretty silly of you to do. I don't recommend it whatsoever. It's really dumb. It's really dumb. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. There's a ton of bad things that can happen if you do this, and I do not condone it whatsoever. But we're still having fun, We're kids. We gotta get our fun when we can have it. We're at a Christmas tree. We're not really out of Christmas tree, but we're kind of bored of just lighting stuff on fire. So we end up playing tag. Around 10 minutes pass by at this point, and all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, cop cars just come out of nowhere. They're like two of them start driving up on us, and we're so terrified. We don't know what to do. We don't know if we're in a huge amount of trouble or what's gonna happen. The two come out and tell us to get on the ground. We're on the ground. 13-year-old kids, man. We're on the ground and face down and stuff like that. I'm scared. I'm absolutely terrified of the police. This is... I don't know what more I could say other than that I was just very, very terrified as a child to know that I was probably going to be arrested. So I do what every 13-year-old would do in the situation. I tell the police everything, absolutely everything, down to the fine details that what we were doing there, where we came from, what we've been doing the entire night, what's in our backpacks, what other friends have in their pockets. I tell everything. And lucky for me, I don't think any of my friends really heard me tell the police everything. They were all telling them lies and stuff like that. I don't know why. We're a bunch of kids. I don't know why people would lie to the police or lie to police officers about anything. You know, if you're good about it, if you have nothing to hide. We had nothing to hide. We were just playing with Christmas tree. We weren't lighting people's houses on fire or anything like that. So I thought about running, and I knew that was a dumb decision. I stopped thinking about that as soon as I realized, you know, running's probably the worst idea I could probably ever think of. So I stopped thinking it, and they tell us to call our parents. Now, it's like 4 a.m., and I'm absolutely sure that my parents are sleeping, and they think that I'm sleeping over at a friend's house. So I'm expecting the worst. Eventually, my dad picks up the phone, and he asks what's going on. I tell him I'm being held by some cops, and I need him to come pick me up, and I need him to talk to the police and all this stuff. And he comes over with my cousin. They drive. I don't know. It takes like 30 minutes of them to get over here. And the police tell him that I can be charged with a curfew violation as a minor. And I'm kind of scared at this point. I don't really want to be charged with any kind of thing that's going to be on my record. You know, a curfew violation, it may not seem that bad, but it's still something. It's something on your record. You really don't want anything on your record as a kid. So I'm still scared, and I can't talk to the police. I can't explain anything that happened to my dad. I can't talk to the police officers. They're still asking me questions, all this stuff, and I cannot breathe a word of it. I am terrified. I don't know what to do. So I get in the car, and I wait to go home. But my dad says something that I never thought I'd ever hear in my life. I never thought I'd ever hear something like this. My dad looks at me. He turns around. He's in the passenger side seat, and he tells me, "Don't tell your mom that this happened." I am so shocked at this point. I don't know, like, I was not expecting that he would say this. I'm not expecting it whatsoever. So I just sit there, quiet, in the car for the rest of the night. I go home, and I go to sleep, and I find out the next day that my friends had, they ditched all their lighters and stuff, so nobody was charged for anything. We're all good. I'm still shocked that my dad told me that all this stuff. It's crazy. Absolutely insane that he would say something like that. And I think I got him. I think I'm getting him in trouble with my mom right now. But okay. I stopped hanging out. I stopped hanging around those kids. You know, I didn't want those bad influences in my life, and my dad even agreed with me. He said, as long as I didn't hang out with those kids, I wouldn't be in too much trouble. At least I learned my lesson. I knew what I did was bad. I knew that you know, it was probably a really dumb decision to be out there without telling my parents or anything like that. You know, I'm 13 years old. There is a curfew. You know, I should have known this. I never knew that there was a curfew, by the way. I didn't know that there's like a certain time that kids can't be out. But I don't know. That's weird. It was weird to me. Like I said, I still don't know if my mom knows this story whatsoever. And so Mom, if you're listening to this, then I didn't really get arrested, you know? I didn't really get arrested. I didn't get detained. I didn't get processed. I didn't get anything like that. I was just 13 and I was really scared. I was absolutely terrified. I've never once in my life been fully arrested. I've never committed any kind of crime or anything like that. It was more of just being held for questioning for like half an hour until my dad showed up. But it was still a really scary experience, you know? So again, I don't condone anything I did in this story. It was all just bad decision after bad decision. But I was like 13. And I thought I knew what was best, as all or most other kids at that age do. It was good to learn. It was really good to learn that lesson. I think it showed me just who I should and shouldn't hang out with. And that some police can be mean, but not all of them. If you're, you know, those guys that held me, those police officers that held me weren't really the nicest guys. They weren't the most understanding. They kind of just treated me and my friends like criminals, even though we were 13 years old. You know, we're just a bunch of kids, and treated like that was not very nice of them to do. But, you know, I understand that you gotta scare kids into learning that lesson, right? Just know that if your mind is telling you that it's a bad idea, then you should probably listen. People can call you names, but it'll save you the trouble with your parents and just keep you in good company. You don't need to impress anyone. Just be yourself, and the people that are like you will notice you. So again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you really enjoyed this and want more, go ahead and comment below. I hope you all really did enjoy it. I love making these stories. And again, have a great day. Peace out, everybody. Bye.